All right. Yep, we're live.
Hello and welcome to Bronze Chat. Today we've got a very eventful episode of Bronze Chat today because you don't want to miss it. We've got a few things lined up, and today we have Beach as our guest. Say hello,
Hello.
Beach.
Hello.
So, are we starting with the grand finals of this month's tournament?
Yes, we are. Because of the stream I have up and there's no the poll that isn't gameplay.
Yeah. So,
Well, I think Freeze has
it, so this tournament ended with they, them, and New York fighting in the finals, and New York winning in 5 maps. So that is pretty neato. So currently we're seeing, clash of head styles from, the teams, and there's definitely some roster shakeups as New York kind of boomed most of its players at either them going to search for new opportunities, going to casting, shadow, or, just taking a break.
it.
Anything to say?
I mean, it's kind of. I guess one could say it's a shame that this team just wins this tournament in such a dominant fashion and then is about to just go on and disband pretty much, as they only have like 6 of their 15 people remaining. However, some of those people were not as important as others. Like the important releases were definitely like Nerfian, Think, Freeze, Me, and yeah, because the rest they were kind of inactive.
Zeus gets absolutely no credit.
Oh,
Anything to say, your magician and or Beach?
I think we can talk about the match a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't see much of this, but this looked like a very interesting match from the Ryan Orisa comp.
New York are very big fans of the Reiner as a comp.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to watch the match, so I don't really have anything to say.
Bruh.
I guess me and Freeze will kind of be the only people that have stuff to say here, but pretty much it was kind of dominant. They only like won a map because they picked Gibraltar, which New York
Is that?
literally never practiced,
Mm-hmm.
and they just kind of got lost. But then New
Mm-hmm.
York were just instantly able to turn it around and win Volskaya and then Oasis winning the series.
Mm-hmm. I'm still sad that I didn't get to be put in, but probably for the best.
It was just we didn't want to like swap out anyone. It wasn't because of you. It was just because we didn't want to swap out anyone to just keep everyone going, and we didn't want
I
to do that.
mean, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And it looked like it really worked out.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, it was kind of a mix of bunkerish healers and bunkerish tanks, with Bap Ana being run. And honestly, that's as much as I gotta say. There was just comfort picks being run around, and it seemed like New York was a bit more comfortable on those picks.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, good.
I
Um,
just
Mm.
looked at the chat for a second.
uh, I'm going to check it because I don't have it pulled up currently.
Anyways, yeah,
Mm,
New York
Right.
were just very dominant, and there's not much else to really say.
mm-hmm,
Uh, oh, I guess we could talk about the MVP. After
mm-hmm.
a close vote between Maroto, Leave, and Mass, Maroto came on top and was crowned Grand Finals MVP. And Zeus definitely wasn't in the lead because of rigged voting, but I don't know what you're talking
Totally.
about.
Mm, don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we don't recall Zeus even being in the top 10, honestly.
Yeah,
Mm.
so true.
True, so true. But that's all we really have to say about this. Kind of a dominant showing from New York. Kind of blew up afterwards. Team wise, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anything to say, Mr. McGuigan?
I think Grotto MVP was definitely the most deserved. I think he has a great probably the biggest impact, like individually on the team. It was like in the game and out. I think it's definitely deserved.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Believe that's all we have to say about the grand finals.
Mm-hmm.
On to our next topic, which is
Just to
no.
show how the tournament has gone. Not really anything complicated,
Mhm.
nothing like that. Just New York, they just went through winners, dropped 2 maps, only to them, and just kind of dominated.
Yeah.
I do wonder with like how much their roster is gonna change. Like, what are we gonna see now from this team?
We can only see next tournament.
I mean,
I think with the pieces they kept, I think they'll still remain competitive. I think they'll. I think top 3, maybe top 2.
Yeah, I don't really see them winning grand finals though anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely could turn out like that, but I think their odds plummeted.
Their odds
Maybe.
aren't horrible, but
they kept
you
some
d-
crucial players,
they
but
did. But all I'm gonna say is their scheduling is now going to be absolutely atrocious.
Yeah. So, on to our next topic, which is Spring Skirmish All Stars.
Hmm.
We had a few close races, especially at DPS, because there's a whole lot of them.
I think some of the closest races here were the support roles for both region. And I guess now we can just go straight into this. So starting with never mind. Starting with West Tank All Stars, your winners are Peach and Moots, and you could see Javish was actually incredibly close to getting a spot of role starters for himself, and Hyper also made a decent run, but Moots just kind of came in with a landslide. You can see when he can actually qualify by playing, he can get some pretty good votes.
And also, congratulations, Beach. How do you feel?
Knowing how my team did that tournament, I don't know how I got it, but I'll take it.
I think it's just recognition of God Tank
I
players.
appreciate the recognition, yes.
Yeah.
And as for Moots, I'm not surprised at all. I think he's just a fan favorite.
Really is. All right, now we got West DPS All Stars, and I must say this one, oh, that's actually a lot closer than I thought it'd be. You got Juno and Duck winning.
Wow, who would have thought?
Big shocker.
Yeah, these guys were just so consistent, so good at the video game. Despite getting third, they still like did their best ever to
Sound very
get their
enthusiastic, Shadow.
best. Yeah. Magician, they're your players. Why don't you talk about them?
There isn't much to say. They're insane at the video game. You know, they work well with the team. Their hero pool is good enough, and they were definitely probably the best spot on the team for this tourney.
Right now we
And
got
to support.
Support All Stars. This one might be a bit of a shocker, mainly one of them. You got J Cries and Blacksmith.
The blacksmith.
I think J Cries should come as no surprise. Everybody calls him the GOAT, and that's exactly what he is. Very good at the video game, very consistent. pops off.
Very hug you.
You could see won by quite the landslide here.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I do think it was heavily deserved. Since honestly, I couldn't see him going a single game without actually putting in value for his team.
Although I must say, I think everybody here is kind of surprised to see Bubble winning over like Mively or Vapo. What are you guys' thoughts
Or
on
hell,
that?
even Laura.
Yeah, our team had a surprisingly high amount of votes across the board for how bad our team played and how we kind of just gave up. It was kind of surprising how much votes we all got, and surprised Miley didn't get a lot. I think he got neglected very much on this one.
Yeah, because he usually won like a lot more in a lot more dominant fashion as previous times, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now we're moving on to the East region, starting off with the Tanks. And it is tied, Jesus, with Kilo and Mr. Meron Rodo.
Yeah, I
Kind of
mean,
sad to only see 4.
it is. I mean, AI team. He also heavily reduces the numbers, I must say. But
Mhm.
I think for clear-cut winners, these guys definitely should have gotten it. They are much more well-known. They're much more like frag out, despite Mariota being on the main tank, even Orisa sometimes. Just very good players, good personalities. They're well-known.
Kilo's just got incredible frag potential, and Marin is just carrying his team through the comms, through the positioning. He's just, I mean, he got MVP. He was dominant.
For sure. Now
Let's
we
take
go
to the
DPS.
DPS. And drumroll, please, it is another tie between Dob and Negative.
I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
Top,
Dob is
he's the GOAT.
Dobbiest.
He's kind of an icon in the Blacksmith Trials, and Negative,
Negative
he fucks. He fucks hard. He's really fucking good at the video game, and
Mm-hmm.
not much
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
to say.
there should have only been one vote. I mean, we already knew Dobb was going to get it. There was no point in even going for a second player. It was always just Dobb.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do kind of wish one of the other 4 DPS here would have gotten it over
They
Dob,
definitely earned it.
because they like I feel like they
Mhm.
would have earned it more, because yeah, Dob didn't
Yeah.
play as much, and
Yeah. Has a unique style on to what to do each tourney. Now we're going over to the supports, and there's only 2 that I can see going. And of course, they're right, Mr. Manazana and Mr. Shadow. How do you feel, sir,
uh,
about your win?
well, actually, because of this established thing, if you vote for your own team, that vote will not count. Manzana actually lost to Kanzashi because 3 of his votes did not count because they were from his own team, which meant the winners were me and Zeus.
Oh wow, so special.
Another fraud title win from Zeus. First MVP and now this.
Mm-hmm.
You
Anyway,
can't
how do
stop
you feel, Mr. Shadow?
I mean, it's a popularity contest, and I kind of run this league, so
Fair enough.
I'm happy. Well, it's kind of expected.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to run a special little segment called People Who Didn't Get Recognized on the Official Forum, but I still want to give recognition to because they are still good. And I have 2 awards: Most Improved and Most Underrecognized Player. And I have a few for there's a lot of players that got unrecognized during this tournament, and it is very hard for me to choose because there's so many great players, and I'm trying not to be biased in saying myself. But a few players that I want to give note to is Arcane, Shugi, uh, are some of the players that I want to give mention to. Also, Exist, Monkey, and Vapo is also another one. There's a lot of great players in this league, and unfortunately, they all couldn't get noticed. But to give specific awards, most improved is probably honestly, it's probably gonna go to Kiuna slash Enzo slash the second tank on they them. He came into the league kind of out of nowhere, and he's just been improved immensely out of nowhere. He just did a lot of great things for they them, and it's amazing to see. It's like immense growth just immediately. Now, most underrated. I gave a lot of names for this, and I honestly can't decide. But I want to say, um, honestly, there is a few, but for funny, I think it would be most underrated for me currently is Mr. Pizza slash Rose of name Lost. He puts in work almost every single game he can, and is like one of the lead stars on that team alongside Jay and Beach, which is a hard thing to do considering it's Jay and Beach on those roles. And the fact that he still does it is just insane. So yeah, those are my two picks. Does anyone have their own underrated or most improved?
I think I'll go next. For most underrated, I had Nerfian. He's been he's a very good player. He doesn't get much recognition. I mean, he can play like off tank if you need. He can play main support if you need. He can play flex support. His comms are good, and he's just an all-around good player. And he's just an all-around good player. And I don't think he gets talked about enough.
Mm-hmm. Anyone for most improved?
I got
Um.
one.
Okay, I'll go. Let me. Okay, for most, I don't know. This might be not. This might. You guys can have to bear with me. I had Beach because during the first two first two tourneys I was in, I kind of didn't think he was a main tank player, and then just because like I didn't see him at all, he was just tacked. One time I saw him, he was on Diva, and then like third tourney, I think he might have been just improved and can become like probably the best player last tourney. So that's who I had.
Oh,
It
we can
was
talk
definitely
about
a bad
those
time
tourneys.
because I came back into the league, actually coming back to the game, so I was very rusty and really not in my zone.
Yeah,
So I was kind of not throwing, but not playing well at all. So
yeah.
I understand that.
He also didn't get much playtime.
True.
And now
Yeah.
you've come all the way to a win last tourney.
Yeah.
So that's some growth. Now on to you, Mr. Magician.
You mean Shadow?
I think it was Shadow, yeah.
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 Shadow Magician.
Uh,
I'm here correctly.
okay. Personally, I I was just kind of thinking like this tourney exclusively, like just thinking how much somebody was underrated like this tourney, and how much uh like somebody has improved from this tourney since past tourney. So I guess I'll just go with that anyways. But I think a very heavily improved player since this tourney and last tourney is Javish. Now, on National Alliance, he didn't really seem to like do as much because I mean, to be fair, they only played like one match and they didn't really do that well, and he kind of got like benched after one series. But seeing him on SFC, he's definitely able to like play a lot more and play like a lot better. And like when he played against Detroit, obviously he wasn't there against they them in their other match, but they still he still has showed like really strong performances on this team, and I think he's definitely doing a lot better. And then in terms of like underrated players, I kind of have two. Exists like Detroit. They're still kind of a bit messy right now, but Exists he's still able to get like a shit ton of picks and still do like really well. And then for my other one, I have Freeze because think like his DPS duos have been like Leave and Juno, so he kind of gets overshadowed very heavily in that regard. And uh, that's about it right now. But he still does like really well and still can play like a lot of characters. He's very flexible. I've seen him do well on all three roles.
Yay. Thank you, sir. And Beach, if you have thought of anyone in the past 15 minutes, do you have any awards you would like to give out?
I was thinking of one because I mean he didn't get All Star. Honestly, I kind of think he did deserve it. Vapo, I genuinely think he was actually most improved and underrated. Honestly, because I didn't even know who he was, and then this next turn he was turning putting some work on the BAP, and honestly, I was impressed.
Australian sadly doesn't count.
Very sad.
Very sad. Now, I believe that is all we have to say. I believe a post will be coming out sometime after this episode, so you don't have to rewatch this every time you want to remember. Now, I believe this gets us to our bands, if I do not mistake.
That is correct. And for this tournament, or this next tournament, we're going to be doing hero bands, and we've got obviously the map bands we do every tournament. And we're gonna start with the map bands because that's not as interesting. And actually, a lot of these people, at least like Beach and Freeze, don't like know that much of the band, so you get to see some live reactions, which I think will be pretty nice. So
Which is just the greatest.
for our first map band from New York, as you may know, the place you get determines the order in which you get the band. So New York, they get it first. You got Junkertown.
Fuck that map.
Happy to beat that one.
Freeze said it best. I mean, this map was actually picked a decent amount. I think at least like 4 times. This tourney, and I think that's 4 times too many. This map sucks ass. I don't want to play it, and neither did New York.
Honestly, I wouldn't be too angry with it just, either getting entirely reworked or just removed, because it just changes from like 3 different sections, and it's too jarring because each requires a different comp. So, it sucks. Any other thoughts, humans?
If you'd see it changing stuff,
Yeah, I
that's just
despise
because
this
stream's
map.
being weird.
I love playing Winston, and this map fucking sucks. So I'm just not gonna touch on that. Also, I wanted to add a little comment. If Winston's banned, I'm retiring from this tourney.
I mean, basically.
I'm gonna go out of this because stream's making it weird. All right.
Mm-hmm.
For second map ban from They Them, by the way, we have Eichenwald.
Fuck. Why'd you do that, man? This was honestly a not half bad map.
Understandable, because a Blaze doesn't exist.
Fair enough.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't like this map. It's the bridge is such a pain. But other than that, I think it's a really fun rush map. I
It's fun.
don't think this will shake it up too much because Kings Row will be available as per usual, so that's what everybody's going to be doing. So now,
Yeah, I don't have much to say, just
we'll be moving on to our third map ban by SFC, and they have picked Busan.
yeah, fair enough, honestly. This map is Mickey Mouse as hell. It went from, it's like this weird style where you either have to play like this extremely aggressive, like rush style, or you have to be so pokey and passive that it's honestly more boring to look at just literally anything else than do this. And yeah.
I mean, he said it. This map is just king of the fucking ball. Fucking comps. It's so bad.
I think another thing is like there can kind of be different compositions played on each point if you think about it. Like Sanctuary, you got the dive. Mega Base, you got the rush. And I think that's one of SFC's major flaws with like their tank line. So I think that's like one of the main reasons they went for this map.
Any thoughts, Mr.
Yeah.
Magician?
No. I think everything's already been said.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being covered, this is our map pool for the next tournament. I think everybody's going to be excited with Lijiang being unbanned now, and quite frankly, I think that's going to go back to the only map teams play.
I love it.
Yes. Yes.
It is the best map, no cap.
Anybody got some specific comments on like any of the map types? How we think they'll change?
Why is Assault
pick?
still a map type?
Okay.
I'd have to agree with that.
Not what I meant.
In fact, actually, we
No.
might want to add that to our
But
mod
answer
meetings.
the question though, yeah.
I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't like push much better, to be honest.
There's no way someone hasn't made like a push custom game code, right?
How would they?
I don't know, man. There are a lot of smart people in this world. I know none of them are in this league, but surely someone.
I don't think smart people play Overwatch because it's Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
But
How much can we
anyways,
pay Jay for it?
he can figure it out eventually. But
He's smart. He knows it.
honestly, I don't really see this much changing with these map bans because like you still got like the favorites of teams on like pretty much every single map type. You got the Lijiang, you got the King's Row, you got the Rialto. I think honestly, I think Rialto might be like the most picked, and there's also like Havana, Dorado. Like people can still play what they want. I don't think anybody gives a shit about Junkertown being banned. I think people are more happy than anything.
And
Anyways,
people spam maps they don't like or they're shit at.
that leads us to the hero bans. This is going to be a lot more interesting because it's going to shake up the meta a lot. So let's start with our first hero ban from New York, D.Va.
Whoa!
Uh,
There is definitely a large amount of people cringing at this page, and they're also hating this.
I think Magician is one of them because he's a D.Va one trick.
Hello, funny.
How do we think this ban is gonna change the meta?
I gotta be honest, this team hurts my
Dives
brain.
over.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Completely over. Ryan Zarya Rush is probably going to be something more seen. Bunker is also going to be seen more often. And a lot more poke comps, probably even flying comps even.
Yeah, Bunker's gonna be huge.
I think something that is important to be known is now DPS are going to be able to get like a lot more value because there won't be the D.Va to shut them down in a lot of instances.
Honestly, I think Sigma might become more relevant because of it.
Yeah, I think Sigma's gonna have
'cause
crazy high pick
Zarya
rate.
is kind of dookie.
Yeah, I think it's too shit to be run, so people are just gonna play Sig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, this is my favorite one. We got them's hero ban. Lucio.
Haha, get owned,
You know,
Zeus.
for a team that plays so much Rush, you think we wouldn't try and ban it every tourney?
Yeah.
For a league that plays so much Rush.
I'm starting to think we need to like change these hero ban tournaments because this team is taking advantage of this to just fuck everyone else.
So obviously Rush is pretty much completely eliminated from
Nah,
the
teams
equation.
will find a way. Don't trust me. Teams will find a way.
Obviously the Reinhardt is still available, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult.
I
Ooh.
bet you it's going to be like Anna, Mercy, Ryan, Sig, McFree, Farah, or something like that.
Cassidy.
Cass, whatever.
I think the OG is gonna know this one. I think something that could happen is like if you remember SFC in their first tourney, a composition that they really like to run a lot was like the Rhine Sigma Bap Zen. I think that could definitely make an appearance, especially on like the normal Rhine maps like Lijiang and Kings Row and stuff like that. I definitely think that'll be a good composition there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think the SEM is going to be very popular now if you want to even try to play Ryan Comp, so this is going to be interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
All
Honestly,
right.
Ryan, big Sim May, Bap Anna, maybe.
Now, for our third ban from SFC, Sombra.
I know you did that just so you can keep Javish's ball alive for longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah, the two teams in front of me banned are two bans, so we just banned something to help ball comps.
I'm actually really happy with this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Got you.
I know we're running now. All right.
The Doomfist.
Farah and Echo Conch just, get stronger every pick.
There's not really like much that can be said here. Besides, Ball is gonna be a lot better. However, it's gonna be a lot more interesting because of the Sigma instead of the Diva, because I don't think anybody's gonna play Zarya Ball. But anyways, now
No,
for our
there's a-
final ban from Detroit that probably should have gone to name lost. Farah.
Wow, you want to know what's funny? I'm pretty sure this is almost the same exact bands as like the last time we had bands, but instead of Lucio, it's Bap.
It was Bap, Farah, Sombra, and then
Zarya.
Zarya. Yeah.
Huh.
So close, yet exactly the same outcome.
It's going to be the same metas.
Also, you are a liar.
I'm
You know?
reviewing that tournament because
know.
it's.
I just wanted a funny reaction out of David.
Mm.
We've been waiting so many tournaments to bring fucking Roses far out, and this is still not our day, I guess.
Wait, didn't you guys ban Farah last time?
No, I think it was Mercy because it was funny.
Well, no, I know a team banned Mercy last tourney, but in the tourney before that, someone banned Farah.
That was name found.
Uh,
I
Well,
guess that was a long time ago.
so yeah, pretty much the same meta, except better swaps, I guess.
I
Out
mean,
for this is just cursed.
just looking at this, we all know it's gonna be played.
Homo Shield.
Let's go.
Double shield Bap on a.
Homo Shield and the teams that try rush.
I have to just ask in the next meeting. Can we just have a tournament where Riss is just automatically banned? I'd be approve of that.
Well, you guys better hope you win tourney after this one then.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess we got our mark now. I mean, I guess with our secret plan, we're gonna have no problem with that, huh?
Wait, hold on. Is it gonna be the same comp that you ran during grand finals?
What are you talking about?
God damn it, Beach.
Y'all
I know
enabled this.
strategy. I'm not even on a team, and I know your strategies.
No, I'm Shadow. I guess you know too, technically, for the future tournament. We
Mhm.
kind of have a plan in mind. Say that,
Yeah,
Mark.
it's a very secretive plan.
It's just to
That
me or Risa erased from the video game.
Yes, we're
I
racing Rissa.
wish. I actually don't wish. I need my Arisa Rhine Rush, but we can't do that because Lucio's
Mm.
banned. Except I don't know why I'm saying we because I'm gonna be casting. But anyways,
Mhm. So
You guys predicted this.
honestly, I also want to mention, not just like in regards to like the league or anything. I just love how everyone here looks like they were just at like that Neo part of Tokyo. Like there's so much neon that it actually infuses into your bloodstream.
Yes.
Like you have a person who's so kawaii that they literally built a giant mech out of it. A person who looks like they're just a giant yellow bird. Someone who actually has neon in their arms and legs. And then you have a guy who looks like a really, really terrible person to hang out at during college. That is my random takes of just character appeal. Anyways,
honestly, this seems like it was actually like planned because this is like one style of a comp. It's like a certain dive. Like it seems like you guys playing this shit. It's weird how all these characters really do go together. Kind of got the perfect bands for one comp specifically.
mm-hmm. Do we have anything else on our schedule?
I believe not.
Oh, wow. So, to summarize quickly, we have our 4 map bands, which I don't bother enough to remember.
There are
4 hero
3.
band.
3, yeah.
3, my bad.
Maybe
Who
we
cares?
could do like another escort band so that there's 4 escorts compared to these.
Mm-hmm.
Reban Root again.
Nah, mate, nah.
We ban
Watch
Rialto.
Like
We
if you
banned
ran a
Watch.
route, no one would pick it regardless.
I don't want to run the risk.
I think a team nearly picked it. I think them nearly picked it in grand finals. Or wanted to. But yeah,
And we got our 4 hero bands, Faro, Lucio, Diva, and Sombra. Then we have our grand finals, All-Star plus our 12 All-Stars. And yeah, kind of review. That's about
what
it.
was that noise?
Don't know. Don't care. Anyways, that is the end. I hope to see y'all next episode. Bye-bye.
See you in the next episode.